Good, happy Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, one killed when car burst into flames after I-93 crash. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carusa.
State police confirmed this car driving along I-93 in Londonderry went off the road near Exit 5 this afternoon and burst into flames.
I was getting a ride back from Concord from a guy at work, and he had noticed the car was in the woods on fire.
Sean Kopp of Danville says he didn't think twice before running towards the car to see if he could help anyone inside that could be trapped.
I got there and I looked in the window. It was just on fire. All the flames were up. The doors were locked to begin with.
He says he smashed the windows trying to help the one person inside escape, but he says it was too late. The driver was not responding.
You got to try to help, you know. I just wish the people out there were there a couple seconds earlier, had tried to do something.
The Londonderry Fire Department, investigators from state police, and the fire marshal's office responded to the fatal crash. Sean says he wished he could have done more to save the driver's life.
Well, I did it because, one, if it was somebody in my family, you know what I mean, or if it was me, I would hope that somebody would react like that and just try to help.
Now, state police continue to investigate this crash. At this time, they're not releasing the driver's name. Live from the newsroom, Kristen Carusa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carusa. Rescue crews search for vessel after discovering flares on Cape Cod. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
Vessel in distress and that they will be searching throughout the evening. Now, local emergency responders from Barnstable, West Barnstable, and Sandwich have also been searching ever since initial flares were seen around 5:30 this evening. Several boats were launched, and crews have also been searching in the marshes and beaches in case the flares were from hikers or people on shore. Now, after about 2.5 hours of searching and finding nothing, local emergency responders were starting to pack up when a boat from the Sandwich Fire Department spotted 2 and possibly 3 flares in the water.
Right up in the air, slowly dropping, it'll be a flare. We just continued out that heading, and then a few minutes later, we're pretty sure we saw a second flare, possibly a third one, we're not sure.
Now, those emergency responders were never able to find exactly where those flares were coming from, and they headed back to the harbor because of the rough seas. Again, no vessel has been found at this time, but the Coast Guard says they're going to be searching throughout the evening. Reporting live at Sandwich, Matt Reed, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report from WCVB, Matt Reed. Oxford County investigating Sheriff Gallant aimed lewd photo admission. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 in Maine.
The Oxford County Sheriff Wayne Gallant was already under investigation for a couple of weeks before he admitted last week to sending that lewd photo to a woman a few years ago. Now, that's according to the county administrator, Scott Cole. Cole did not provide any details on that investigation or say what brought it about in the first place in early November, but it comes amid scrutiny surrounding the sheriff's admission about that lewd photo. That admission was made to county commissioners. Sheriff Gallant subsequently resigned as president of the Maine Sheriff's Association, but remains in his position as sheriff. The attorney for Oxford County says the only way to remove a sheriff from his or her position is to file a complaint to the governor's office. However, a spokesperson for the Governor LePage's office says that they have not received any official complaint from the county. Live in the studio, Joe Glauber, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that report in that video. Some Wall Street pros see Congress tax plan as too much of a good thing with too high a price. While stocks have relied around it, some Wall Street pros say the tax bill could be almost too much of a good thing for the economy. Flynn's lawyers meet members of special counsel's team raising specter of plea deal. And let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
I'd like to make a deposit. Okay, great. Oh, sorry.
This holiday season, your local Wells Fargo bank is becoming your local Wells Fargo food bank.
The Russia investigation and former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, a major signal tonight. Could he be ready to cooperate with the special counsel Robert Mueller? We had already learned here that Flynn's lawyers told White House lawyers they could no longer discuss defense strategy with them. Well, tonight, ABC News has now learned Flynn's lawyers have now sat down with special counsel Robert Mueller's team. ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
It's let's make a deal time for Michael Flynn tonight, the president's former national security advisor who famously wanted Hillary Clinton behind bars.
Lock her up. That's right. Yes, that's right. Lock her up.
Today in Washington, Flynn's lawyer met with the special counsel's team, a sign of a possible plea deal that could make Flynn a government witness in the Russia investigation. Flynn was forced out of the Trump administration for lying about his contacts with the Russians, although the president still defended him.
I don't think he did anything wrong. If anything, he did something right.
Yet former FBI Director James Comey says the president, in private, asked him to let the Flynn investigation go.
I understood him to be saying that what he wanted me to do was drop any investigation connected to Flynn's account of his conversations with the Russians.
But the investigation continued, and now people briefed on the case say Flynn may be ready to talk as he faces the prospect that both he and his son could be prosecuted. His lawyer recently cut off communications with White House lawyers, and he already told Congress General Flynn certainly has a story to tell, and he very much wants to tell it, should the circumstances permit. David, what comes next? It's time for both sides to show their cards. According to people briefed on the case, prosecutors will tell Flynn what charges he could face, and Flynn will tell them what, if anything, he knows about wrongdoing in the Trump campaign or the White House, David.
Everyone watching these signals very closely. Brian, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video in that report from ABC News. And that does for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.